He's in full forward for Dunderry, and we'll tell you, I think it could be Dermot Kelly gone off the team for Dunderry. So their forward line out back with Conor O'Shea wing forward, Bomber Farrell centre forward, and number 12 Mark Kane is left half forward. The full forward line's out with Conor Daly corner forward, Paddy Keneally full forward, and the other corner forward is Stevie Coogan. Maybe not a bad thing for us. Luke Martin will be very dangerous in there.
I was just going to say that, CJ. I'm surprised that they'd moved Luke Martin out to the middle of the field. Now maybe it's only with the throw in and they'll shuffle him back in. I don't know, but he was lively certainly in the first quarter anyway.
Okay, ball thrown in by ref Podgy. Ball breaks to Luke Martin. First ball of the second half. Foul there by Sean Fitzgerald. Advantage played. Ball comes in here towards Paddy Keneally, but it's going to be a free for Paddy Keneally. Where it lands, it was advantage played. Paddy Keneally has it. He's 30 yards out, well out here towards the terrace side, and they've handed it to Stevie Coogan, and Coogan is trying to make in a few yards. Keeper's coming. This is Cluxton territory again. Keeper coming. He didn't make a great job of the first half one. Stevie Coogan drops the ball down, and if I was Dunderry, I'd be moving things along pretty quickly. They're 7 points behind, 1-9 to 5 points. Second half just started, and Dunderry keeper left footed. It's here under us on the terrace side, 30 yards out with the left foot. It'd be a nice kick to get, Rory.
It would, yeah. Tricky one into this breeze. Now we saw Trim free takers struggled early on in the first half before Lynchy got his range.
So Shane Brennan, this is the very same time, wasted journey for Sean Brennan. He didn't learn from the first one. He should have been kicking the ball towards the left post and let it curl in. Instead he just kicked it directly straight, gone right on the right hand side, and there'll be a trim kick out.
They'd call that in golf, CJ, missing on the amateur side.
Correct.
He should have put that ball across the goal. Missing on the near side.
So Pete Farrell got the kick out. Referee Podgy blows the whistle, and that was coming very nicely here to Conor Quigley. Podgy, I suppose Porrick has been consistent today, but it's a bit infuriating sometimes. But Peter Farrell, ball in hand again on the 21, will look to maybe go along with this. There is a wind. Conor Quigley's looking for it again. Peter, short steps, but is he kicking it long? He goes long and high, out towards, who have we out there? Kieran Caulfield. Caulfield is ball broke down to Morgan Callaghan. Morgan is tackled, and Paul Mooney over there on the far side, on the stand side, gives the sideline in towards Paddy Keneally, who's out in front of Luke Moran. Luke well tackled by Luke Moran, still with Paddy Keneally out in the sideline. Paddy was a very good footballer. He's down with knee injuries, I think. Gives it back here to Bomber Farrell, who's fouled, getting the advantage. Free for Conor Farrell. It's in Stephen Coogan territory, I would say, and Dunderry have started the second half. There's 2 minutes 20 seconds gone, slightly livelier than Trim. But this will be a tough kick. Paul Mooney, the sideline man, is bringing the ball back out towards the sideline, so he's 30 yards out. If he's very accurate, this will be a great score to get, but it's a tough free, Rory.
Yeah, he's right over on the sideline, CJ, as you said. It's the right side for a right-footed kicker, but it's going to be a tricky one. So he's kicking into the hospital end here now, the second half.
So Stephen lines this one up. Very good player for Dunderry over the years, has had his knee problems as well. Stephen with the right foot, a lovely looking kick in towards the goal. Unbelievable score, brilliant score by Stephen Coogan. You can't give him anything inside. That's his 4th point, his 3 frees and 1 from play, and that puts 6 points between the sides again. And a little bit of fisticuffs there in the middle of the field with Luke Martin and Rob Burke, but ball is going to be kicked out here by Peter Farrell. Lovely low ball towards Caulfield. Wills very well ahead of Aaron Newman. Gives it off to James Troher very nicely. Into Mikey again, who's well ahead of Dunleary as well this time. Gives it off lovely to Rourke inside the 30-yard line. Rourke coming to his weak side, the left foot. Gives it back to Aaron on his right foot. Out here to Mikey again. Mikey's 21 yards out. Can he score? This is a tough one for Mikey. Mikey, magic! Unbelievable score by Mikey.
Magic Mikey does it again. Magic Mikey does it again.
1-4.
A typical, any of you who know Mikey Cullen and the way he plays, that was a typical Mikey Cullen score, CJ. He wasn't in front of the goals, nowhere near it. He was out over, nearly in the stand, and he managed to swing it over.
One look. Our Mikey is looking like a county player today. Absolutely. Here comes Simon Carty on the attack for Dunderry. Gives it off to fullback Conor Dempsey. Will he get it light-headed? He's up the field so far. Gives it to Conor O'Shea. Conor O'Shea on the ball. Gives it off there towards Aaron Newman. Back here towards Conor Daly. There's a lot of Conors on the field today. Off towards Conor Dempsey. Liam Dempsey. On there back to Conor Daly, ball coming up and back. Bad ball in there by Daly, very well broken by Tor. And Dougie opens up the play. He has the field in front of him. He's Decky Dowling in front of him. He gives it a 50-50 ball in towards Mikey again. Mikey tried to flick the ball into Aaron. If he got it on the flick, it was a certain goal. Lynchy wouldn't miss those, but Dunderry recovered the ball and on the attack with Simon Carty. Simon Carty gives the ball over to centre back Morgan Callan. Morgan breaks good ground through the middle. He's been tackled by Trim in towards Luke Martin, 21 yards out. Luke overcarries. And in fairness to referee Porrick Coyle, he gave, some people would not give that, Rory, but that was a certain overcarry.
It was, and Jerry Dwan did very well. Jerry Dwan read the danger, broke from his man to step across Luke Martin, and that caused Luke then to overcarry the ball. He sidestepped Jerry Dwan, and it cost him an extra 2 or 3 steps, and the referee penalised him. So good stuff from Jerry Dwan.
It was Jerry's having a good game today. He's been a little bit under the weather in some matches recently, but he's on great nick today. And Conor Quigley carries the ball. Conor very consistent for Trim, carries the ball down towards. There is Conor still on the ball, gives it off to Shawnee Fitz. We're edging here to kick the ball in. Mikey's on his own again, off here towards Burkey towards Kieran Caulfield. He's pinned down the ball. I think that could be, if it's Conor Dempsey, he's gone.
No, it's not Conor Dempsey.
Are you sure?
I
think it's Conor Dempsey.
Be a black card, no, it's a yellow.
And red. It's Conor Dempsey and he's gone, but that was a very dangerous tackle, Rory.
It was. Kieran Caulfield was bursting at pace. He just crossed the 21-yard line. He was heading for the large parallelogram. The Dunderry man felt he had to put the challenge in on him, and he absolutely cleaned him out of it. A very dangerous tackle on it, low tackle around his legs that could have really caused an injury. But thankfully Kieran is up, and Lynchy should have a simple tap over here, and Conor makes that only walk over to the dugout.
So Lynchy does tap the ball over the bar. 1-11 to Trim, 6 points to Dunderry. 6 minutes gone. 4 teams with 14 players. Lynchy now with 6 points, 2 from play, 4 frees, 14 men again each. Darragh Lynch gone for Trim, Conor Dempsey gone for. Conor spent a lot of time on the sideline today. This ball is with Aaron or with Kieran O'Rourke, and it gives it back to Conor Quigley. Trim in the ascendancy here, 1-11 to 5 points, 8 points ahead, 6.5 minutes gone second half. Rob Burke with the ball, off to Magic Mikey again, he's inside the 21, he takes on Donnelly, gives it to James Tor left footed, over the bar for Trim, 1-12, 6 points, brilliant play from Trim. Mikey Cullen unselfishly to Tor nearly could have went for a goal, instead did the very right thing, pull it over the bar to put Trim into a very commanding lead, 1-12 to 6 points. Another sub coming on for Dunderry. Trimmer in great position, Rory.
I think it's one of the features of Mikey's play this year, CJ, particularly in the football, is how unselfish he is. He's become much more of a
team player.
Much more of a team player, and I don't mean that as a criticism, because he's always a great finisher, but that's 3 or 4 assists he's been having there today, and it was the right option. Tor making a great run, and Mikey popped it into him.
So kick out fortuitously won there by Morgan Callahan at centre back. Morgan gives the ball on here towards Luke Martin, towards us here in the side end. There is a sub on the Dunderry team. George Martin is on. Great tackle by Sean Fitzgerald on Luke Martin. It's going to be a trim ball according to Jason Plunkett here beside us. Referee is overruled. Jason was trying to give us something there, but the ball is taken quickly into the substitute Jordan Martin. He's on the 21. Jordan, he steps to the ground, right foot and has a kick. Is it over the bar? Tailing off to the left to where Paddy Keneally and Luke Moran are. It's a 50. Luke Moran got his hand on the ball. It's a 50 for Dunderry. Jordan Martin has replaced full forward Conor Daly, so Trim really in a very good position. Could we take this little minute to say hello to Claire Cullen in the hospital? I'm sure she's listening to us. She had her hips done during the week. She's mother of Mikey and James and Grace, wonderful supporter of Trim, and the very best wishes to Claire in her recovery. I had one done myself this year, Claire. You're far younger than me, you'll be far more able to take the pressure.
There'll be some dancing between the pair of you now when all these hips get done, CJ. Huh?
So Stevie Coogan stands up to this 50. It's 8 minutes gone. Stevie's been slotting these all day. Stevie stands up. Does he tug this one to the left? Is there a more accurate free taker in Meath? I don't know if there is. A great score by Stevie. He's so accurate with those frees. 5 from frees, 1 from play, 6 for Stephen out of 7. Who has scored the other points for the Dunderry? Luke Martin got 1, Mark Kane got another, so 5 for Steve, 4 from frees, 1 from play. Peter with the ball to kick it out, 1-12 to Trim, 7 for Dunderry. 9 minutes gone. Peter long ball this time towards Rourke, breaks through Rourke, goes to Kieran Caulfield, but it's very well taken by Morgan Callahan, who's playing a nice solid game for Dunderry in the second half. He's fouled by centre forward Dougie's going to go into the book. It's under the stand, the crowd were roaring. Podgy's going to be influenced by them now. Anybody does anything, we need to be very disciplined here. There's no need to go into any sort of
I've
fisticuffs.
no idea what the referee is going to the book for there. I mean, Dougie just seemed to have his hand on the man's back, and he was down low, and a little bit of a shove in his back, and he's after getting booked. I mean, I think that was definitely influenced by the crowd. That was CJ. I didn't see anything in that at all.
Yeah. Ball in hand by Aaron Newman at the sideline. It's a sideline ball, or that's a free. Aaron steps inside and kicks it in there towards. Who's it towards? Oh, Jesus. Podgy whistle happy again, gives the free. This is Stevie Coogan country again. Jerry Dwan is a judge to have fouled Stephen himself, and Stephen will stand up to this, and it's a toughish free, but this man is on fire from frees. 1-12 for Trim, 7 for Dunderry. This will put 7 between the teams again, which is where we were at the start of the second half. There's 10 minutes gone in the second half. Stephen lines this one up from the stand side of the field, very right for the right-footed kicker. Stephen lines it up, stands up to it. Nice looking kick again. Is it over? Wide.
Wow.
Unlucky for Steve. It was a good kick. It just went to the left hand side and wide. And sorry, John.
I think it's very important now that, as you said, Rory, keep their composure, not get involved with anything. We're well ahead in this game. We're well in control, and if we, as I said earlier on, get the fast ball into Magic Mikey and accurate Aaron, we'll be flying.
Thank you for your. Someone up there, John. Off here towards Ian Bermy. Ian should have went harder for that ball. Very well done by Decky Dowling. Dowling gives it on to Dougie, who's having a lovely match for Trim at centre forward today. Every time he gets it, he does the right thing. He does it again. Gives it on to Conor Quigley, on to Decky Dowling, on to 14. Lynchy inside. Lynchy has it. Goal for
yes!
Trim. Game could be over. Goal for Lynchy. Brilliant play from Trim. Class run from Decky Dowling all the way from cornerback Conor Quigley to Dougie, who's having an exceptional game for Trim. Gave the ball back to Decky. Decky unselfishly gave it to Lynchy, put the ball away. 1-6 for Lynchy, 2-12 for Trim, 7 points Dunderry. Trim in the ascendancy here, brilliant score. 11 minutes gone second half. Trim really at the races here today. Conor Shea is tackled by Ian Birmingham. Ball kicked in low, but then a bad kick by Conor Farrell. Dunderry losing the discipline here. Dougie on the ball again. There's nobody marking Dougie. He has the run of Partalton today. He gives it to Coffey. Coffey does seldom does anything wrong. Mikey on the ball. Another man does nothing wrong. Picks it up, chips it up over the bar. Super by Mikey once again. We're losing space on the paper for Mikey. 1-5 he scored out of 2-13. What a full forward line today. Mikey and Aaron Lynch are absolutely blistering. Sean Brennan with the kick out from Dunderry. Where do you kick it, Rory?
He's going long. He's coming over here towards this side, CJ. Rob Burke's underneath it with Liam Dempsey. It breaks
down to Aaron Newman. Very effective from Dunderry. Probably the most effective player to have. Newman gives a lovely ball in here to Conor O'Farrell, who's now lined out at centre forward. Torr is coming near him. No need to foul out there. Conor's not going too far. Slips it inside there towards Paddy Keneally, but it's gathered there by back with Conor O'Farrell. Conor. Podge blew the whistle again, just not sure what's happening.
Advantage, I think there was a foul there. I think it was Conor O'Shea was fouled as he was offloading that ball, and he kind of played a bit of advantage. But
so free for Stephen again. 2-13 to 7 points. 12.5 minutes gone in the second half. Trim are 12 points ahead at this stage. Stephen should try to slot this, keep the scoreboard moving for Dunderry. They don't have enough scorers by the look of it though, Rory. There's nobody looking accurate up front.
No, Stevie Coogan is doing all the donkey work for them, CJ. He's pulled that one wide too. He's pulled that to the left hand side, so his head has dropped a little bit there. So the intensity has been out of the game from Dunderry now. As John Andrews said a few minutes ago, Trim are totally in control. We just need to keep our heads now, not get involved in any silly business off the ball.
Yeah. You'd feel for Stephen there because he's nearly carrying a one-man show up front, and when things are not good, he needs to slot those last two just to keep ticking over.
Moving Luke Martin now full forward line is an awful mistake because they don't have any pace in there now at all.
So long kick out from Peter, beautifully won there by, is it Kieran O'Rourke? Rourke wins it, gets a free, gives it high towards Lynchy. Lynchy let it inside. Can Magic Mikey get on it? No, he's towards it, and for the first time today the duo up front haven't just got their business together. Ball is coming out with Dunderry, Liam Dempsey. Liam Dempsey out here towards Conor O'Shea, who's not doing too bad for Dunderry, one of their brighter stars. Conor on the ball, tackled by Conor Quigley. Back to keeper Sean Brennan. Sean left footed, taps the ball, going not too far though, out to Morgan Callaghan, who's been tackled by Dougie. Dougie's having one of his better football games for Trim today. A judge to have fouled Morgan Callaghan, very soft free. Kick in there towards Jordan Martin. Jordan back to Morgan Callaghan. Morgan with the ball. Morgan gives the ball in towards Paddy Keneally, who who doesn't look the threat that Luke Martin would be. He's a big man, Paddy, but he doesn't have the pace of Luke. He's inside Luke Moran this time. Didn't foul him. No foul committed. Jerry Dwan pricks the ball. Jerry's been tackled in there. Jerry lose possession. Lucky enough I think he was lucky enough to get the free out there because he was dispossessed, and Dunderry were in for an open goal, Rory.
They were. Jerry picked the ball up. It looked like he was going to get shoved over the line, carried the ball out for a 45. That caused him to turn back towards his own goal rather than away from the goal, and he turned into the danger area, and the ball just spilled from his grasp. But lucky enough, the referee deemed that to be a free. Peter Farrell seems to have picked up a bit of a knock in that passage of play. CJ's down on the ground.
Yeah, well, Peter's only back from an appendix operation 4 weeks ago, so his wounds might be a little bit tender, but his first game back, and an important cog on this trim wheel.
His kickouts have been good again today, CJ, haven't they? I think the very first one he kicked, he misplaced. He went over one of our half-backs there at the very start of the game, but since then I think he's been very accurate, and his kicks, have allowed their attacks to start, real quickly. He's back up to his feet, seems okay, thankfully.
James Torr with the ball, punted ball in front of his own goals towards Jerry Dwan. Jerry breaks 2 tackles and comes out with the ball nicely. He needs to get rid of the ball though. He's tackled very well. Ian Birmingham fouls Liam Dempsey. There was no need for that from Trim whatsoever. The ball should have been kicked well down the field. Instead it's with Luke Martin inside the 14, ball across the square where Luke Moran, who's been very assured at full back for Trim today, and the ball is played out to Kieran Caulfield, who has an acre of space in front of him. The 2 boys are inside. He also has Rourke with him. He gives it to Rourke on the 50. He has Lynchy for the score. Lynchy with the right foot comes back towards Torr for the left foot. Torr left footed from 40 yards between the posts. The water will come, and Trim are 2-14 to 7 points ahead, 13 points ahead. Podge will blow for the water. There's 16 minutes gone.
Joyce coming on too, by the looks of it.
So the water is taken, and Kieran Joyce will come on. I'm not sure who for, but Trim have really upped the ante here, looking very impressive, Rory.
Looking very impressive, CJ, moving the ball slickly. The decision making, 99.9% of the time has been correct. Very unselfish play by both Mikey. And a bit of a shock there. Just the result of the Rathkenny Duleek quarter final has just been announced over the thing, and Rathkenny was in the win 116 to 9 points. So that's on the other side of the draw to Trim. I think Trim play Walterstown after last night's results. So assuming Trim go on and win this game, but it's looking very likely now. Once that second goal within C, I think it was lights out for Dunderry. Yeah.
So a most impressive half an hour from Trim after the initial 15 minutes of somewhat predictable stuff. Sean Fitzgerald has gone off the Trim team. Kieran Joyce is on. I'd say he may go centre forward, maybe with Dougie or Ian Birmingham gone midfield. We'll tell you now in a second. Play will resume with a kick out for Dunderry, which Sean Brennan will take, and Trim sprightly as ever out in the middle of the field. Dunderry coming a little bit lacklustre to the field. They are 13 points behind, and lucky for some, I don't see them coming back in this match. There's 16 minutes 18 gone, which means they've only 14 minutes to resurrect this game. As we predicted, Green Byrne, who's gone to the middle of the field, Joycey's gone to wing forward, Dougie remains centre forward. One of Dougie's better games today, Rory.
Yeah, he's been very, very good. He's just on a yellow card, that's the only thing. We just got to, hopefully he just keeps the head. But he's been very, very good, and when he gets the ball, he's got some pace today. His first 5 or 6 yards, he just leaves men in his wake, and it's great to watch.
So Sean Brennan finds Dunleary with the kick out, and he passes it off to Aaron Newman. Newman gets on a lot of ball. Newman has been tackled by Joycey. Back to Dunleary, on to Conor O'Shea. O'Shea takes on, Mikey is after him. Mikey tackles, doesn't foul. Conor O'Shea still on the ball as he overcarry. He beats Torr. He's inside. Conor's a bit mixed up as to where he wants to go. He goes sideways out here towards Liam Dempsey, who's towards the stand side of the field. 40 yards out, hand passes the ball into Paddy Keneally, who's been tackled there by Joycey, I think. And Joycey gives away, or Decky Dowling rather, gives away the free, and it is Stephen Coogan territory, but his point mightn't be good enough. Liam Dempsey kicks the ball in towards the square. Brilliant take by Luke Moran, and he finds Lucas having a great match for Trim. And there's a great ball out towards Joycey. Joycey lets the ball go through Morgan Callahan. Joycey still in the ball off the coffee. The whole field opens for Trim again. It's 4 against 1. They can do whatever they want here. They give it to Lynchy, who's on the square. Lynchy buries the ball.
Accurate, and he does it again.
Accurate. Aaron is on fire. 2 goals. What a play from Trim. 2-6 for Lynch, 3-14 for Trim. Game well and truly over, Rory.
Super play. It all started with Luke Moran winning the dirty ball in his own square, CJ. That's 5 or 6 in a row he's had to win in there. He's been very, very strong there. Excellent.
Yeah. So ball kicked in here towards Luke Martin. Luke takes on Rob Burke and is fouled by Rob Burke. And Podgy's going to the pocket again. Burke's going to get a yellow card, innocuous once again.
I think Rob is a little bit unlucky there. I think he's booking him for kicking the ball away, but I think Rob didn't think that he'd fouled the man and the ball broke and he just kind of toe poked it away. I think that's what the referee is booking him for, but I don't think that was intentional from Rob there, to be honest.
So short ball played by Paddy Keneally in towards Conor Dempsey, back to Paddy. They have to go for something major here. Paddy back to Jordan Martin, a desperate kick by Jordan, still ball breaks out and Toher gathers it well. A really sound game from Toher today. There's not too many Trim lads haven't played well. Conor Quigley gathers the ball, takes it out of his own half back. It's fouled there by Bomber Farrell, who I think is in the book, and if Podgy looked, I'd say he could be gone. Toher on the ball, no need for panic here to Trim. 3-14 to 1-7. Ball comes down the line to Mikey Cullen, who's at least 10 yards out ahead of Dunderry. Gives it back there to James Toher. Trimmer on fire here. Joycey inside the 21. Back here to Mikey. A little bit of an overpass, but it still ends up with Lynchy on the 14. Lynchy gives it back to Toher. Toher will turn to his left. Joycey's available. He finds Joycey and he's fouled, and he'll put it down and take the free himself, or Lynch will take it on. Another Trim sub coming on. Brian Beano Dowling coming on. I don't know, could we take either of the full forwards off?
No,
it could be Kieran Caulfield maybe if they want to forward, or else they're going to rest Magic Mikey. Unbelievable, Mikey Brothers.
Brilliant. He's going to get some round of applause.
Mikey. Just listen to this, we'll keep it quiet.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, sensational stuff.
Unbelievable display by Mikey.
He scored 1-5 himself, CJ, but he must have set up maybe 3 or 4 points for others. He certainly set Lynchy up with a few, and he set up, and that free was taken. Sorry about that.
And that free was taken. So Beano has big boots to fill today. Beano big boots. Here we go. Goes direct to Kieran Caulfield. He has Beano inside him, and Joycey. He gives it to Joycey. Brian's inside, left foot. Joycey, that was the poor option. Kicked it with his left. Lads running off. And a little bit of champagne football there, and no need for it whatsoever. 3-14 for Trim, 7 for Dunderry. 20 minutes exactly gone, 10 minutes remaining. Dunderry are not in this game. Dunleary with the ball, gives it there to Aaron Newman. Newman gives it off to, who have we there? I think it's Paddy Keneally's come out, is it? Yeah, Keneally's come out now, and they've pushed. They didn't push Luke Martin.
Foul at all, ref.
Fouled by James Toher according to Podgy. Free is going to be taken by Paddy Keneally. Gives a ridiculously high ball in, and Jerry Dwan gets out in front and is fouled by 15. Stevie Coogan. Dunderry look very ragged, lads.
Yeah, they do. The game's well over now at this stage, so just hopefully we'll avoid injuries in any other silliness in the last 10 minutes. But Trim have been very dominant, CJ, and very slick all round. We've said that already, and some of the scores have been absolutely wonderful team scores.
Ben Holden is coming on the Trim team. We have Rob Burke going off, who was centre field, so they put Holden in centre back, and James JT Toher is moving slowly to the middle of the field. Ben Holden centre back. So Trim have used 4 substitutes at this stage. They will throw somebody else on, I'd say. They're out of the Premier Junior Championship now, still in the Division 7. Conor Quigley with the ball has had a really clean game. Breaks, he's so strong on the ball. He breaks through the tackle. He's still carrying it to the Dunderry 50-yard and gives a very hospital ball to Aaron Lynch. Lynch, he does well to win it back to Dougie. Dougie first ball for a little while. We're nearly expecting him and everything. He is his old teammate James Toher out on the right hand side. Toher on the 50-yard line. Trim will just tap the ball around here for a little bit. No need for anything too extravagant. No need to be going for too many scores. Luke Moran, his full back, is down here at the 50-yard line. Gives it to Lynchy, who's 50 yards out. Gives a nice ball across to Joycey. Joycey to Quigley. Quigley cuts inside. He should have a shot for a point here. He's outside his range. It just lands in the keeper's hand, Sean Brennan. 21 minutes, 50 seconds gone. 22 minutes gone. 8 minutes. There'll be 8 long minutes for Dunderry. 3-14. Trim lead to 7 points. They are ahead by 16 points, Trim. ball played here towards the substitute Jordan Martin. Jordan kicks in the ball aimlessly again, and Jerry Dwan looks like getting the better of Stevie Coogan, but Luke Moran, who hasn't put one foot wrong apart from maybe the first ball today, he's been exceptional since. Ben Holden's on the ball, gives a nice little punted ball out here towards Aaron Lynch, who's directly under us here in the commentary box. Lynchy tip-taps the ball in his foot, gives a little ball into Decky Dowling. Steam gone out of this game completely. Decky tip-taps the ball on his toe, still with the ball, gives it to Ian Birmingham. Ian has inside, and Ben Holden, who's moved down. It comes to Bino, who's 14 yards out on the terrace side. He'll have a crack at a shot. That's a score. Hell of a score from Brian, just letting the selectors know he's there. It'll be a tough task to get into this squad, but that's the way to do it. Great score from Brian in Mikey kind of territory, Rory.
Yeah, nice one for Brian. He'd be happy with that. We'll hear about that one later on, I'm sure. But
numerous times.
Dougie is going off the Trim team. Who have we coming on?
Paul
Munley's coming on, so that's our complement. The subs coming on. Trim really just rattling them out here now. Sean Brennan kicks out the ball high again to the middle of the field. 2 Dunderry men under it. They win it with Paddy Keneally, who's been okay effective since he came out to the middle of the field. Oh, he burst through a tackle. He actually overcarried it. He charged through the ball, and he didn't get away with it. Podgy's been consistent. A little bit whistle happy maybe, and yellow happy, but he's been consistent.
He has been. For all the talk, maybe the build-up of this game, it hasn't been a dirty game. It's been physical and strong. But I think Trim just, when Trim did get the scoreboard ticking over, they put Dunderry to bed very, very quickly.
Yeah, Joycey hasn't been at his best since he came on. He's given a few, simple balls that should have been corrected, just too hard the balls he's trying to put in. Anyway, back with the play where Paddy Keneally has it 50 yards, his tackle. He's fouled by Joycey. He said hand up by Podgy. It'll be a free for Dunderry. It's completely irrelevant at this stage. They are 17 points behind, 3-15 to 7 points. Interestingly, after the first quarter, Rory, Dunderry have scored 3 points.
Yeah, and Trim have scored 3-12 since then. So they certainly put the. Dunderry started very, very well, but I think we mentioned it there. You said it, CJ. They needed to be a bit more lively when they had the wind and they had the tails up, but they were slow taking frees. They were slow taking 45s. And they just never built on that momentum, and once we got to the water break, Trim were able to reset and just blew them apart since then.
So Stevie takes the free, and he's been accurate all match, and there's 3 wides, but his head is down. There's nothing to play for here. This game is well and truly over. Trim 3-15, Dunderry 7 points. Trim will march on to the semi-final. You'd have liked where we play Walterstown. I mean, you can only play what's in front of you. It's not nice to win by too much though, heading into a semi, but you can only play what's in front of you. Peter with a poor kick out this time. It's won here by despite the poor kick out, Ian Birmingham won it. He gives on to Paul Munley, who has the whole field in front of him. There's not a player in front of him coming near him or anything. He's Joycey to one side, he's Caulfield to the right. Joycey gets on it, should give it back to Munners. Munners should score. Munners inside the D, and the other sub gets on the score to put it 3-16 for Trim, 7 points for Dunderry. It's awful easy now, Rory.
That was like a you wouldn't even see that in your training drill, CJ. Joycey walked
not a hand on
ball there, nobody near him, and popped it past the Munners. You couldn't call it the best run off the man's shoulder ever. Munners was walking, and he still had time to take the ball and tap it over the bar. So Dunderry are completely gone at this stage.
And Goose is cooked.
Chief Executive Dunderry of Trim said, Sean Anders said, Dunderry's goose is cooked. So ball badly played again. Decky, this is a farce at this stage. Decky Downey wins it. Joycey has it. There's only one inside of him. He should give it back to Brian or into Lauren Lynch. He should take his point. He gives it to Lynchy. 3rd goal for Lynchy. Yes.
Super accurate, Aaron. He does it again.
Aaron does it again. 3 goals and what for
6 points.
3-6 for Lynchy out of 4-16. But to be honest, they were all set up for him, Rory.
They were set up for him, and that's been a feature today, and not just of today actually, CJ, of all season, has been the team play from Trim. They've been every man on the field has given the ball to a man in a better position. They completely trust in one another and completely trust in the system, so it's very, very good to watch, and the results are there for us all to see. So ball in play now. This is kind of more like a challenge match at this stage. Conor Farrell has the ball here. He actually fouls Paul Munley, and he's going to go to the line because he fouled Paul Munley ball in hand. He gave him a yellow. I thought he had one in the first half. He obviously didn't, but he kicked the ball away actually towards the referee, and Dunderry have.
I think the most humane thing the Podgy could do now is go to find a whistle. I know there's 10 minutes left.
There is 3 minutes left. 26:57. 27 minutes gone. Game has been over for the last 20 minutes. Ian Birmingham ball in hand. He gives it to Conor Quigley, who'll take the free from the position back to Ian, onto Toher. Nothing silly here from Trim, don't get involved in anything. 3 minutes left. Toher, lovely punted ball towards Lynchy. There's 4 Dunderry men across to 21. Lynchy has a pot, just closes his eyes almost. He kicks the ball over the bar for his 3-7 for Lynchy out of 4-17, but there's not a man who's able to even get near Lynchy, and this is kind of embarrassing for Dunderry. 4-17 for Trim, 7 points for Dunderry. Game well and truly over. 27 minutes gone, 2.5 long minutes left. Luke Moran with the ball, comes out, gives a poor ball in there, just gathered by Decky Dowling. Decky with the ball. Trim have players absolutely everywhere. They're walking around the place. Decky with the ball, little chip pass there towards Beano, out towards the sideline. Brian Dowling has it in there towards Joycey. Joycey gives a lovely ball into Lynchy. Lynchy is 10 yards off his man every time. He'll have another score here, will he? If he wants it, he can have it. Fouled. If not, he's fouled. Pulled to the ground by Simon Carty. Black card, you wouldn't give anything at this stage. You wouldn't even give a red bar. A fella did something crazy. Lynchy is on the ground. I'd take him off if we had another man to bring on. Can you bring on? We've 5 on, we can't take them off. Lynchy will stand up and probably put this over the bar. 28 minutes, 20 seconds gone. 4-17 for Trim. Dunderry 7 points. Nice display. You'd nearly like to see it a bit tougher, Rory, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we had a tough one here 2 weeks ago, CJ. Or was it last? No, 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Against St. Pat's in the Corner Bunyan final. By the way, compliment you on your commentary. I was away on holidays, just tuning in. It was absolutely sensational stuff. So that's obviously toughened the Trim team up. But yeah, as you said, what can they do? They can only play what's in front of them. So what we've got. So there's Watersound next to them. The other half of the draw now is Rathkenny, and we know the result of the other quarter final yet. The other side
Rathkenny
of the
play Oldcastle.
Oldcastle, yes, yeah. So that's what's left of it. So there will be a couple of games, tough games there.
Yeah. So Aaron Lynch stands up after being mauled to the ground. Kicks the ball looking for his 8th point. 3-8 for Lynchy, 4-18 for Trim, 7 points for Dunderry, 11. There's 23 points between the sides, and it's too much in a match of this standard. So Dunderry kicked the ball out with keeper Sean Brennan, finds a nice ball towards Luke Martin. He gets a little clobber in the back for his troubles. Joycey walked into him a little bit. No need for anything here, Rory, whatsoever. In fact, you could allow them have the ball for the next minute and nothing should happen. So Joycey's going to go in the book. I'd say there's 12 lads in the book at this stage, and it wasn't dirty now. So Luke Martin with the ball, playing down the clock here. There is 10 seconds on the clock. He may play in a minute. If he's doing the smart thing, he'll blow it up. Ball back here towards Morgan Callaghan. Morgan towards Darrow O'Leary, who had his hands full when he come on. He gives a 50-50 ball to Morgan Callaghan, goes through 14 yards out, gives it back out here to Stevie Coogan, who has a shot. Ball goes out to the wide, another, or it's not gone wide, it's well held in there. Back out here towards 18, who has a shot at goals, and that's only their 8th point of the game. That is Alan Waters, I think, who came on a sub there for. No, sorry, it was Aaron Newman, who has been their most consistent player. Gets a score to leave 4-18 to 8 points. Game over, 30 minutes, 30 seconds played. 4-18 to 8 points. The game's been over for quite a while. Peter Farrell with the kick out.
Has his jacket on and everything. He's heading for home.
We're ready for off here in Navan. Peter kicks the ball out. Podgy blows the final whistle. Handy win for Trim.